Hi all, in this video we're going to talk about how to make an iMovie. So the first thing we're going to need to do is to launch the iMovie app, which is purple. It has a video camera inside of a star. So I'm going to click on that to launch it. And then I want to create a new project. So I create a new project by clicking on the plus sign. And now I need to decide what kind of movie I want to make. So I want to make a movie that has nothing in it. I want to make a movie that's totally brand new and from scratch. So I'm going to choose the movie option on the left. And then if I knew what kind of footage I already wanted to add in, I could click on that. Otherwise, on the bottom, I'm going to hit Create Movie. And now I'm inside of the iMovie app. So in the upper left-hand corner, you'll notice that I have the preview window. That's where I'm going to see the movie that I'm building. In the upper right-hand corner, that's where I have all of my media, so all of my footage that I've saved into my camera roll from the internet or from videos and pictures that I've taken on my iPad, as well as all of the audio, so the soundtracks, the theme music, and the sound effects. And then across the bottom, I have my workspace, and in my workspace is where I'm actually going to edit my movie. And then in the bottom right-hand corner, that's where I would typically find the trash can. And in the trash can, that's where I'm able to delete any kind of footage that I might add, whether it's audio or video or pictures that I no longer want. You'll see that pop up later on. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to start by adding my cover slide. So in order to add my cover slide, I need to work with 3 different parts of iMovie. I want to add in a picture, so I need to work in my media. I want to add in a title, so I'm going to add that in with the title, the T that's going to pop up after I add in my picture. And then I'm going to add in some kind of sound effect for my opening credit. So I'm going to start by going to Moments in the upper right-hand corner under Media. And I'm going to look for my picture of a curtain. And I'm going to click the plus sign to add it in. And then remember, this white bar that's across my workspace is very important because that shows where my movie is in the preview window, and that is called the playhead. So I'm going to move that back to the beginning. If I tap now on my picture of my curtain, you'll notice across the bottom popped up of different actions. I'm going to click on the T for titles because I want to add some text. So in order to add text, I'm going to choose one of these options. You can see I have options like line title, I have reveal, I have focus and prism. I'm actually going to choose the standard one. So that way I have a lot of lines of code, a lot of lines of text. And I'm going to write in a title just by simply clicking inside of the box. I'm going to name this Dragon Meets Kitty. I'm going to give it a production company name here on the top. Unfortunately, in the iPad version of iMovie, you cannot change the color. I'm going to do MS442 Productions Presents. And done with that. And on the bottom, I'm going to put in my name here. So I'm going to do by Miss Reale. Beautiful. And like I said, I wanted to add in a sound effect, so I bring my playhead all the way back to the beginning. I'm going to tap on audio on the right hand side. I'm going to go to sound effects, and I'm going to type in maybe cheer, see if anything comes up. Crowd cheering. Awesome. And I want to see how long my movie is. So far it's 8.3 seconds. It's a little too long, so I'm going to actually cut that back just by highlighting and dragging it back. And I'm going to bring it to about 4 seconds. That should be pretty good. And so if I cut that back too, then I want to make sure that I aligned my title with my sound effect. So I'm going to bring my sound effect, I'm going to drag that back as well. I also could have used split clip. Notice here too, when I click on my different clips, there's my trash can in the bottom right hand corner, so I'm able to delete something if I no longer want it. So this is what it looks like so far. What's also great is I can do the picture in a picture feature, right? So if I go back now to my media and I want to add the kitten, well actually maybe I'll add the dragon first. I'm going to tap on the dragon in my pictures. I'm going to do those 3 dots and I'm going to do picture in a picture. That's going to drop my dragon in, and I'm going to actually make that shorter so that way I have some space and time for the kitty to come into the screen as well. And I'm going to move that over, so I'm going to click on the dragon again. Up here I'm going to click on the square if I wanted to make it bigger or smaller. Instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on those 4 arrows. I'm going to position it down here on the bottom, and that fits much better. And then I'm going to move my playhead over. I'm going to drop my kitten in, hit the 3 dots, and I'm going to do again a picture in a picture. And I'm going to have my kitten shorter too. I'm going to tap those 4 arrows again and move my kitten down into the other corner. So now when I run across, you'll see I have my dragon meets my kitty. Very cute. Okay. And now I have an introduction written by yours truly, Miss Reale, and I want to add a green screen background to that. So when I'm adding in a green screen background, it's super duper important to add the background in first. The background should be on the bottom, and then you're going to overlay your green screen footage above that. Okay, so I'm going to tap on my hillside and I'm going to hit the plus. Notice too what popped up right in between those 2 clips that helps with that seamless transition are transitions, right? And if I tap on my transition, you'll see I have different options that pop up across the bottom. So I could have none, I could do theme, or I could try slide or dissolve, and that just changes how I see my transition play out. Okay, I could also add sound effects and I could change the amount of time. So that helps make my movie look more professional and less choppy. It also makes my movie more aesthetically pleasing and interesting for the viewer. Okay, so now that I have in my background, you'll notice that it pans across, right? That's what we call the Ken Burns effect. So if I tap on that background, and what I want to try to do, if I click on actions at the bottom, you'll notice I have my Ken Burns effect. So that's the panning feature, and that's turned on right now. So I'm going to pinch to start somewhere. So I'm going to have it pinch in and move it over from the start, and then I'm going to click the bottom arrow that's pointing to the right, and I'm going to have it move over all the way over here. So now when I have my Ken Burns effect go, it should scroll a little bit across the way. I could have also zoomed in. Let's see if I try that. Maybe I try zooming in more, and then now when I come out, I'll come out of the frame a little bit more, right? And then maybe inside of there, I'm going to add, again, bring my playhead all the way back to the beginning. I'm going to add in that green screen video footage. So I'm going to tap on my footage. I'm going to click on the 3 dots, and I'm going to do green, blue screen. And I have the option to make some color transparent. So I'm going to pick my blue wall background. Now this wasn't the greatest type of background, so I look a little bit ghostly. As you can see, if I tap on my video footage, I would be able to play around with the strength of it by moving the bar back and forth if I wanted to. If I had to fix the cropping feature, I would click on the box with the 4 dots, so that way I could pull it in and crop it if I had any blips. But I don't have that problem because my wall was solid behind me and the entire wall was blue. So I'm going to leave that. I'm going to look a little ghostly. And then the last thing I want to show you is adding in an ending credit. So I'm going to put my ending credit sign in. And I want to have, I want to make sure that my background is long enough for this green screen footage. So I'm going to click on the hillside background and pull it out farther. So that way it lines up with all of my dialogue. Yep, perfect. Now I have my end, and I'm going to add another picture in a picture here. I could also do a cutaway, right, if I wanted to. Instead of it popping up at some point, I would be able to still hear any kind of voiceover, but then also add in a different picture, different type of footage, similar to when you watch BTV and you see the anchor speaking and then you see other footage come up and then you go back to the anchors, right? So again, I'm going to move this over a little bit. Awesome. Going to add in a little bit more music and maybe some voiceover at some point. So I'm going to go back to my audio, and this time maybe I'll do soundtracks, and I'll pick some sort of song. Sounds pretty. Drop that in, so that's underlaying my entire movie. And over here, maybe I will actually do a voiceover where I click on the microphone over here on the left. And I'm ready to record. I hope you enjoyed my movie. Come back again next time. See you soon. And so now I have my recording. I accept it. So I can see the purple bar is my recording, the green is my theme music, and then the blue over here is my sound effect. So I pretty much put an entire movie together, which I'd be able to play by hitting the play button here in the middle of my screen and previewing my entire movie. Other simple things to note: if you wanted to delete something, you would tap on it, hit the trash can. In order to play around with the volume of your sound effect, you'd click on some audio and then click on the volume bar, and you'd be able to raise or lower it depending on how you needed it to sound. You could also, if you click on a picture, you could do filters by clicking on those 3 different circles that are all woven together. So there's lots of options of what you can do depending on what you are trying to do and the kind of effect that you're going for. So you can really customize your movies to make them look exactly how you want them to. Happy movie making!